guys and a microphone. Two bald guys and a microphone. Two bald guys and a microphone. Two bald guys and a microphone. Hello, we're back, and some people been wondering where we've been. It don't matter, cause right now it's happening. Same station, new day and time slot. Content forever is flowing, we won't stop. Providing remedies for chemical brain freeze. And teaching reboot, stressing you believe. We're two bald guys and a microphone. We're glad to be back, it feels good to be home.
All right, welcome in everybody to Two Bald Guys and a Microphone. Right now, only one bald guy. Don't know where the other bald guy is. We'll find him. Hopefully he's all right. Maybe got caught up in traffic. Hard saying. Here we are. This is, of course, Two Bald Guys and a Microphone, brought to you through the financial support of our good friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center, www.mchenrymassage.com, 815-385-8190. The best massages in the Fox Valley, right? Again, Best of the Fox. John and his staff are absolutely great. And right behind me, you'll see JH Events and Flowers, $5 Friday, the best florist in the area. Jen and her staff are just amazing. Check them out at www.jheventsflowers.com. They did my daughter's, they did my daughter's wedding. It was amazing. Just amazing. They did great stuff. Hey, happy anniversary. It was exactly 7 years ago today. 7 years ago today that Two Bald Guys at a Microphone kicked off. It was a great day out in Harvard and started what heck has become, 216 Creator Studios, 216 Annette. Absolutely blessed and beyond excited to have two bald guys going for 7 years. It's a 7-year anniversary, which is amazing. Today, we're talking about falling in love with the grind. Falling in love with the grind. And it may be a little bit different than perhaps what you think. It's not about coffee at all, but it is about falling in love with, the grind. Now, a little bit later, we're going to have Damon K. Ross. He'll come in and give us his piece of advice in the Believe section. But hey, good morning, Lisa. Glad to have you. Of course, Lisa, a great show on Sunday, Living Outside the Box. Good stuff. Take a couple weeks off because of a wedding. But she's grounding. So what we always talk about right off the bat is reboot. Reboot, as you know, is an acronym that we created and a system that we created to help people through basically getting unstuck when they didn't think they could be stuck. Recognize, educate, believe. The operating system, orchestrate, and test. We know it. We've been through it before. But what I wanted to talk about right now is the operating system. The operating system that we all have is wired a specific way. And what I'm talking about is that you either have a will to win or just a huge drive to avoid failure. I think in most people, we have the ability to battle, right? I love to compete. Winning is fun. Winning is the funnest there is, but I love to compete. And if I'm not winning, when I was a kid, my mom got me a shirt, and the shirt said, if I'm not winning, I don't cheat. I just change the rules, right? And I've kind of lived by that my whole life. And I don't have I love to win. Don't get me wrong. I love to win. But I love the grind. I love the work. I love getting dirty. I love the process. And whether you win or lose or whatever it is that you make at the end of the process, you can sit back and go, I like that. I like that the final product. So, let's talk about the grind and falling in love with the grind. I mean, we've all heard the mega, the personalities, the Gary V, the Tony Robbins, the gurus love the grind, right? Air quotes all around that, love the grind. Um, what does it even mean? What I mean when you hear that, what does it mean? Um, it's work, right? I mean, a lot of people in today's society don't even like work, but it's work. Um, work work is not supposed to be enjoyable. And that is a lesson that Americans have said time and time again. And listen to the quote that I'm about to tell you. The quote that I'm about to tell you: do something you love, and you never have to work a day in your life. False. Absolutely false. Absolutely false. Do something you love and work hard at it. You may not get as frustrated. You may not get as pissed off, but truth be told, you have to work. My wife and I have been married 31 years. She's my best friend. Um, I love her, but it's work. And more work on her part than it is on mine, but it's still work, right? And that's the part of the grind that you got to fall in love with, right? But just because we love each other doesn't mean that it's all easy, that it's not work. At least that's a popular mindset. Find something you love, you never have to work a day in your life. Um, if you're working at a job that you hate, if you're working on a project that you absolutely hate, if you're working with people that perhaps annoy you, you'll never love the grind. It's absolutely not possible. Too many distractions. There's too many distractions. But how do you know when you love the grind? What is the grind to you? How do I change my operating system to understand what the grind is? And that's a good question, right? It's something that I battle with all the time. It's something as a coach of sports. It's something as a business owner, as an employee that I struggle with all the time. But yeah, I think if you focus too much on the outcome, if you focus too much on the win or the loss, you end up not enjoying the ride, right? Not enjoying. Take a look at a typical vacation. Let's go with a vacation, family vacation, and you spend all of these months, maybe hours, working on setting up the itinerary, what's happening, where are we going, how it works, and then you build up such a vacation, and then all of a sudden, I mean, what happens? The vacation let you down. It wasn't as glorious or as grand as you probably had thought that it might be. Um, but yeah, that's that's an issue. There's a problem there, right? Um, and then you come home after a great vacation and you're let down because you fell in love with the grind, and you made it more. Um, here's a story. And when we talk about the grind, um, let's just I was talking with a student in their 20s, and they said, I just graduated high school, and they were working a dead end job at the Dollar General, just stocking shelves. And this young person wanted to take a gap year, take a year off of school before going to college. Thought that it would be absolutely good for them. A lot of kids are doing that now. nice break from being forced to sit in a classroom, do things that they absolutely didn't like in high school, had a bad experience, um, you name it, right? And after working at the Dollar General, adulting, as some would say, for about 4 months, this young person reached their limit. It was winter. They said it was cold. And they had to be at Dollar General at 5 a.m. to put basically put shit on shelves. It was mindless, boring, solitary work, exactly what they were looking for, right? So this young person usually ran on about 4 hours of sleep or less, because they're up gaming and doing things. They enjoyed playing. They weren't working. They were playing video games. They said maybe 10, 12 hours a day. Um, and had a handful of friends. Some went off to college. And most of them, they didn't really spend a lot of time together. And one morning, um, they said they finally snapped. Um, they were in Dollar General stocking shelves, and just started crying in one of the aisles. They thought, they said that they thought to themselves, "This is it. I'm going to be useless for the rest of my life, working for minimum wage, putting dumb shit on shelves for a faceless corporation that doesn't give a crap about me." And I'm like, "Whoa, okay, all right." Um, so that day they went home, and they're pretty broken up, and they aren't, they're about ready to give up. And they sat with their mom, and mom was a great influence. They said, I can't do what I'm doing anymore, and said I wanted to go back to school. And sure enough, they applied the same day. Mom encouraged them to get into a local community college. Very next month, they were in class, and their life turned around, and is headed in the right direction. Now, why do I bring that story up? Well, the point of the story is not to show you how miserable this 20-year-old student is or could be or anything like that. Um, Also, not to make you feel sorry for that person or a person that you may know that's going through the same thing. It, I bring that up because it's meant to show you that if you're in the wrong place, you'll never fall in love with the grind. If you're in the wrong place, you'll never fall in love with the grind. You need to get out and do something that you really want to do, right? Um, all of you who know me know that I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan. And didn't really like him or appreciate him as a young person. Um, and I probably wouldn't have left my wallet on the table if he was in the room when he was younger. And he matured and grew up to be a good father, and kind of a visionary. And there's a piece of knowledge that Kobe shared at the retirement of his jerseys in LA. And so what I want to do is I want to read this for you, because this is a quote that I have fallen in love with, um, and I want to make sure that I get it right. So he says, "Lastly, our daughters, Natalia, Bianca, and Gianna. You guys know that if you do the work, you work hard enough, dreams come true. You know that. Actually, we all know that. But hopefully, what you get from tonight is that those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway, that that is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey. And if you guys can understand that, what you'll see happen is that you won't accomplish your dreams. Your dreams won't come true. Something greater will. That's falling in love with the grind, right? Making the calls when you're not supposed to, burning through, putting the phone down and making that extra call, getting through the emails, getting your work done, right? Um, Thanks, Lisa. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Absolutely love you. Good luck with the appointments. But that's falling in love with the grind, right? Um, it's just it's understanding that what you do with passion, you do with fervor, you do with every ounce of energy that you absolutely have, right? And that is how you fall in love with the grind, right? Right now, of course, we're rolling into there it is, brain training, right? This is the operating system. This is what we talk about. How do you, after all of these years, after everything that America puts on you, after everything that we do, how do you change that mentality of win, 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 or don't lose, don't lose, don't lose, fear of failure into, man, I just want to fall in love with the grind. What it what do you say? What do you do? Right? Good question. I mean, the best thing that we can do is to find something with you. Take a look at your hobbies. Take a look at what motivates you. Take a look at things that you're grateful for and figure that out. That is the true meaning of falling in love with the grind, right? Um, hey, how, let's just put it this way. So, what does it feel like? What does it feel like to fall in love with the grind? So, it's the feeling of waking up every single morning and knowing that you'll improve. One of my mantras is win the day. Win the day. Um, did I make the right calls? Did I do the work? Did I put in the right effort to win the day? At the end of the day, can I look in the mirror and say, did you improve? Did you win the day? And if I can honestly look myself in the eye and say, yes, huge. That's incredible. Probably too many people who are listening to this at the end of the day brush their teeth, get into bed, and don't ask themselves, did I improve today? Did I win the day? Shana, good morning. Glad to have you with us. Of course, this is Two Bald Guys at a Microphone, our 7th anniversary show. 7 years ago, this very day on the 6th of September, was our very first episode. And right now, the other bald guy is a little AOL. Don't know where he's at. I'm praying that everything in his family is well. I'm praying that everybody is okay. Haven't heard from him. Thank you. Yeah. Who knew that 7 years ago I would fall in love with the grind? Who knew 7 years ago that that little goofy show would lead to 216 Creator Studios, DDOE Enterprises Inc., with a reach of over 35 million people, and the things that we're doing, the places that we're going now, the shows that are coming up, absolutely crazy. That's falling in love with the grind. Coming in every day for the last 5.5 years that we've owned the radio station, but 7 years we've been doing the show, always looking for show ideas and things, trying to better ourselves to bring good content out there. But I'm sure Coach is well, and we'll see. But we'll keep, the show must go on, as they say. And Damon K. Ross coming up in a little bit on the belief side. So if you want to fall in love with the grind, you have to wake up every morning saying, good Lord, it's, you know, you have to say, hey, good morning, Lord, or good Lord, it's morning. You wake up, if you fall in love with the grind and you're in the grind, you have to be able to wake up every morning and say, good morning, Lord, let's hit this, let's run. Knowing that you're going to improve throughout the day. You have to know that you're going to improve today, even if it's just a little bit. We don't have to improve massively, right? One of these arms there, massively. We don't have to improve just a little bit. Tony the Kid, good morning. Good morning. Yep, hope all is well. We're good here. We're just throwing some good vibes out to Coach. I'd not like him to miss a show or not or not reach out to us. So fingers crossed that everything is good. Coach and I actually met at a mixer through our good friend Frank. He introduced us. Frank Hostica said, "Hey, Kent, you need to meet this guy." So we did, and there we go, and here we are, right? And that's how Coach and I met, and now we're kind of brothers, which is fun. Our wives, we do stuff as families. It's pretty cool. One of my favorite bumper stickers is "Embrace the Suck." That's it, right? And if you fall in love with the grind, you embrace the suck. However, it's someone else's definition of suck, right? I've got friends, Joe Turner from In the Know with Steph and Joe airs Fridays at 3. Joe Turner is a restoration company. He literally deals with people's yuck, mold, gross shit. You want to talk about suck? I would say that is suck. He looks at that and goes, that's money. That's the smell of money. Mike Krejci, one of the owners here, he's a plumber. Talk about, obviously I don't do it. You can't pay me enough to open up people's poop pipes. You know what I mean? And go, let's clean this out. He's a service guy. No, thank you. Don't want that, right? That's, to me, embracing the suck. That to them that's the grind. That's loving what they do. Falling in love with the grind means that you're touching someone's life with what you're doing. You're making difference in what they're doing. Shana says, I'm a realist, and sometimes it just does suck, is what it is, but changing perspective makes it suck less. Oh, no. There's no doubt about it that, in the game of life, you sometimes get dealt a pair of one or a pair of twos, right? And you're not, even though you got a pair, you feel good, but it's the lowest pair in the deck. There's no possible way, unless somebody's bluffing, that you do. There is suck. There is suck. But if you, if you say, hey man, let me just get back to the grind. We don't get stuck in that suck. So I just got a text from Coach. He said, yeah, there was a big problem at work. Everybody knows that he's helping out a company and moving that company forward. He said, just fixed, on my way. So he'll probably come in, and he'll, have sleep in his eyes. The big problem was he overslept. I don't know. I'm pulling his leg. But it's okay to understand that falling in love with the grind, right? Falling in love with the grind doesn't mean that there isn't going to be suck. Happily ever after doesn't mean that it's absolutely so pleasant that it's, hummingbirds and butterflies and unicorns, right? It just doesn't. There are going to be pieces of life that suck. But if you fall in love with the grind, if you fall in love with what you are truly passionate down, knowing that deep down that if you put in the time and grind, you'll make it. You'll win, right? Our idea of life, here's our plan for life, right? And the universe is like, here's the plan all over, right? And it doesn't line up with our plan. And because it doesn't line up with our plan, guess what happens? That's where the suck is, right? Yeah, it sucks. I've had 2 business partners over the last 7 years die. That sucks. Both meant a lot to me. We got very close. That sucks. But if I allow the suck to win and not focus on the grind, hey, I don't know where this station is going to go. I don't know how big it's going to get. In my dream, it's going to get huge. But if I don't focus on the grind, if I don't get in and do the things every day, we're not moving anything forward, right? Now, it might take 10 days. It might take 10 years. It might take a lifetime, but it'll happen. And as Kobe Bryant said, your dreams your dreams will come true, but something greater will happen out of it by falling in love with the grind, being true to it, right? This too shall pass. One of my Les Brown is one of my favorite motivational speakers. I absolutely love Les Brown. And Les says, this has not come to stay. This has come to pass. And if you fall down, land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And that is the bottom line, right? So the idea is to make sure that what you do, you love. Again, it's not find something you love. You'll never work the rest of your day. You'll never work a day in your life. That's wrong. You'll work hard at it and you'll love it. You'll sweat, you'll cry, you'll get angry at it. You'll get frustrated, but you'll love it. And at the end of the day, you look and say, did I win the day? And you're going to say, yeah, I won today. I absolutely won today. Right. So that's the big thing, right? Here's the deal. To grind, right? If we make an acronym for it, to grind, greatness, running in nonstop determination. Greatness, running in nonstop determination. You are greatness. You were created great. No matter what anybody else says, you were created great, right? I'm just telling you, you were created great. Running in a nonstop determination. That means no matter what, no matter how high the hill, no matter how low the valley, no matter how bad the suck that you have to embrace, you got to get in that grind. It's running in non-stop determination. When Ron passed away, Rancher Ron passed away, I could have very easily just said, I'm done. I fold up and away we go. I pushed on. We brought Pete in. Uncle Pete was a great man, great businessman, silky smooth voice, and he moved the company from here to here. And out of nowhere, he died 2 years ago going on. Miss him every day. Could have folded it up there. Matter of fact, my wife and I talked about it. And Alice said, you can't, right? So here's the deal. The deal is you got to fall in love. I love the grind. I love the creativity. I love talking with people and sharing the vision. I love asking people for money. I love moving this station into a different stratosphere. And we're on a plane now because of the grind that I've done over the last 5.5 years that Coach has put in over the last 7 years of us being together. I'm telling you, that's the grind. Oh, is it 8 o'clock?
It's close. It's 8 o'clock somewhere.
It's 8 o'clock somewhere, right?
Well, I was stuck in the grind.
I know. That's what. Everybody's happy that you're good. That's
Yeah,
it.
I know.
That's it.
I should have texted you, but I got in the middle of the issue.
That's okay.
So, but that's not here nor there.
So, listen. This is just timely. Does Coach have any idea how triggering that was for us? He'll have to pay for that. About not communicating. That's
breakfast?
all. Yeah, I'm working on it. Right. Me too.
No,
trust me.
You're absolutely right. Because on my way over here, I'm thinking this is what I talk to the kids all about is communicating. I was like, oops.
Yeah, no, thank you. And yeah, right now, Cappuccino Drew is a great ad. He's doing an incredible job, and we're moving forward. So, we're talking about falling in love with the grind, and we've gone through some things. You know, when your goal is bigger than yourself, that's when you fall in love with the grind. Okay. But the idea is you can't grind for another, right? I can't grind for somebody else's goal. Now that's a hard thing to say as an employee. Okay. But I'm in an industry in banking, in lending, where it's my business. It's not the bank's business. The bank is just the funder of the money. Right. And so I grind for my reputation, for my, you know what I mean? Because I could go to any bank, whoever, I mean, wherever I'm at.
You've been
right?
to a few of them.
Just about everyone. But the idea is I can't grind for somebody else's love. I can't grind for somebody else's goal. Okay. Take, for instance, any employee that you may have. And it's the employee shows a lot of talent. The employee, and we all know these people. We've had them in our lives. And the employee is saying, hey, I'm just going to come and put in the minimum. Right. But my goal as the CEO of a company is I need you to put in more than minimum. Right.
Well, that's, I heard it said a long time ago, a job is like owning a car and a worker is like renting a car. When you own your own car, you take care of it, you treat it well, you change oil on time. When you rent a car for 2 days out of the airport, you beat the snot out of that thing. And a lot of employees treat their job as if they're renting the car. And the challenge of the manager is, or the owner, whoever's in charge, is to get the employee to feel ownership in the company. When the employee, the workers, when they feel ownership in the company, then the grind is not that difficult.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things, you know, as a plant manager, as a company commander, I was always had the ability to do is get ownership into the people. The grind, you know, the military, especially when we're in the infantry, that's a grind, right? You're pushing 18, 20, 24 hours a day. And these guys they're not getting paid more. They're not getting time and a half for overtime. They're not. So if you're going to encourage them, they have to feel a bigger part of the process. And when they do, the grind isn't really the grind at all. It just works.
Mm-hmm. So Shana says, as you're falling in love with the grind, how important is it to stay around like-minded people for your success? I feel many times people can hold you back. Reputation extends to those around you somewhat.
I've done my best to hold Kent back, but he's achieving regardless of my.
Here's what I'll say. How important is it to stay around like-minded people for your success? It's not. It's not. And here's why. If you're forcing yourself to stay around like-minded people, you know, you're probably the one, right? In the room, right? There's like, you know, if you're finding yourself wanting to stay around like-minded people, you're probably not in the grind that you absolutely love, right? So the idea is that if we find ourselves there, we're worried about someone else's perspective on our grind, on our life, on our business, right? There's a lot of like-minded people like me who are extreme douchebags, right? Creative, pushing, business owners. Absolutely, right? Take a look at anything across Christianity. Why are they're all like-minded people, but this church is a lot different from that church, which is a lot different from that church, which is a lot different from that church. Same goal.
But I think there's two sides to that coin. There's like-minded in, are you inspired? Am I working with people who are equally inspired to accomplish something? And do we think the same? I want to be around people who think differently than me, but from a perspective of, I want them to still be inspired at the level I'm inspired. So there's two pieces. Success happens when I don't surround myself with yes men. Success happens when I surround myself with people who aren't afraid to be critical of what I'm doing.
But that's why I'm saying, too many times we're focused on success.
Mm-hmm.
Too many times we're focused on the fear of failure. And if you're playing for either success, the ultimate goal, everybody's like, Michael Jordan had such a will to win, right?
Am I hearing some Kobe Bryant coming
right?
out here?
I shared that.
That was
you,
great.
Right? Is that if you are so focused on winning, you're going to be, you're not going to enjoy the grind. You're not going to enjoy the trip. Whether you win or you lose, the process is the same.
Right.
And that's what you have to fall in love with, is the process. The ball bounces funny in life. Why is it that Elon Musk has billions of dollars and I only have $10, right? We're like-minded, but if I start hanging out with him, am I without stealing his money, am I literally just going to end up being a billionaire? That's people focusing on success, the end. I'm saying you got to fall in love with the grind, right? I don't have time to hang out with you at the bar because I'm grinding. I don't have time to hang out with you floating down the river on your boat because I'm grinding. My brother, this past July, family was together in the UP, and my oldest brother, he's a bishop for the ELCA church in northeastern Iowa. And I'm sitting there and I'm working every day, right? Because I can work remote. And he's like, man, you shouldn't be working every day, right? And I laughed at him and I said, well, I understand what you're trying to say. I said, but you work every day. He goes, no, I don't. I said, I'll call bullshit. You'll see something happen at a convenience store and go, that's a sermon. Oh yeah. I said, okay, so you're working, right? I go, creative people work all the time. People who fall in love with the grind work all the time. The work-life balance, we've been through this several times over the last 7 years. Let's be honest with it. Work-life balance, work is life. Right? Now, if all I do is focus on my work and ignore life, there's an issue, right? But the bottom line is, and this is what I tell people, I've even told my employer, I am okay we were yesterday, I was talking with people. I was like, how do you stay motivated when you work from home? And I'm like, what kind of stupid question is that? Right? I mean, what are you talking about? I go, listen, here's the issue. You have to get through your head. If you grind and you absolutely love the grind, I stay motivated because I can take 4 hours off during the day and work 4 hours, from 6 to 10 p.m. It doesn't matter when I work from home. It matters that I work, that I grind, right? For some reason, again, our operating system says you must work 8 to 5, take an hour off for lunch, 8 to 5. So when I work from home, I think that I have to work 8. No, you don't. You could work from 8 at night to 3 in the morning. Doesn't matter, right? And yeah, you're right. Well said. There's your shirt for the day. Passions seldom require motivation.
Well, we get into the job mentality, punching a clock.
Yeah,
I punch a clock, I'm in at 8. I punch a clock, I'm out at 4 with an hour for lunch.
right.
And your brain doesn't take time off.
Mm-mm.
Your brain is in constant motion. It is picking up everything that's going on around you. With my writing and my poetry, especially, when something would inspire me, I would have to write. If not, it would like either explode in me, or it would just die. When we're out, if I'm building widgets, it's important that I show up from 8 to 5 and I put my parts in. I play my role in the assembly line. And that's one thing. You can't work every day when you're doing something like that. When you're in a creative process, when you're, it's in the mortgage world, when you're in, if you see a news report that flashes up that says, hey, this is going to impact my client that I have, you're going to be in constant motion.
Yeah.
And look at it. Love is a grind.
Yeah.
Marriage is a grind. We're coming up on our 50th anniversary, and I think, how in the world did we get here? Well, it's been a grind
Every day.
every day.
That's what I was sharing.
I would have known that had I been here.
That's what I say is happily ever after doesn't mean that it's easy.
No.
Happily ever after means you're happy. You can be happy, like I said, cleaning out, skin diving for Roto-Rooter. If that's your passion, if that's the grind that you absolutely love, absolutely, right? The bottom line is fall in love with the grind. If you get up every day knowing that today I got to get just this much better, and work at it and find a way to do it. What is it? Here's what I love, and we've talked about this on the grounds before. I love doing random acts of kindness. So once a week, I buy somebody's coffee. Okay, first of all, not random.
Right.
Right. Second of all, do you just leave or do you wait to see their, I like to see their reaction. Then it's not for them. It's for you, right? That's somebody who's looking to fall, who probably isn't happy with their grind.
Well, look at me put a 20 in the plate.
Yeah, right. So again, if I break down grind, GRIND, it's greatness running in nonstop determination. Right? You are great. You have to run in nonstop determination. Just means I'm going to grind. At the end of the day, I'm going to look in the mirror and go, did I get better today? The question I ask myself is, did I win the day? Right? Now, what's that mean? You guys are like, hey, don't look at the end. Don't focus on wins or losses, right? That's a saying that motivates me, right? Did I win the day? Did I stay active as I could in the grind, or did I sit and Netflix and chill? Did I blow 4 hours YouTubing? You know what I mean? Did I win the day? To me, winning the day means when I hit the pillow, I'm exhausted. I'm ready for bed. Right? I've got a lot of friends who are business owners and creative people who are like, I can't sleep at night. My mind keeps going crazy. When I hit the pillow, I'm so tired. My body's like, you need to sleep.
Yeah.
Now I'll have great dreams. Absolutely. But you got to sleep. Right. That means I win the day. If I lay down in bed and I start rolling through things in my mind about what I didn't get done or what I have to do tomorrow, I lost. I did not win the day.
I saw a quote earlier today that said most problems arise out of two things. Number one, we act without thinking, or number two, we think without acting.
Yeah.
And the grind is down that middle. We're constantly thinking, but are we hanging on to the right thoughts? Are we finding a thought that this thought could really do something? Then are we acting on those good thoughts? But if we're going to act without thinking, we're almost always going to get in trouble. If we spend too much time thinking without acting on these thoughts, then we're wasting our life. So where does the grind fall into that?
Well, I say that again because I was reading Shayna's comment.
Issues arise when we either act without thinking
Yeah.
or we think without acting.
Mhm.
Where does the grind fit into that? Where do we find that central part where we think and act?
That would be the grind. That would be on my top 10 list, number 7, practice mindfulness, being
Right.
present, right? When I think without acting, I'm either out over my skis or behind them,
Mhm.
right? If I act without thinking, again, I'm probably out over my skis or behind them. I'm not in the present moment. Once you fall in love with that grind and you understand what it is you have to do, some people will say time block to help you get into that grind, right? Some people will say, you really got to calendarize everything to fall in love with that grind. And I will tell you, I have time blocked, and time blocking to me makes me feel guilty.
I couldn't
Right?
agree more.
I understand, but all of a sudden it pops up on my calendar, marketing time, and I don't have time at that minute to market or whatever. And then I look at it and go, I didn't do marketing.
And then after a while, it doesn't have the impact. It pops
Right.
up, you just
Swipe, right.
Swipe left and
So,
gone.
Shayna says, so I think, to answer your question, if you fall in love with the grind, you are thinking and acting together. It's like a dance, right? It happens. Shayna says, grind seems like a negative word, like methodically crushing your soul. Some people make more money on the golf course than any grinder. Absolutely. And that's their grind.
Yeah.
Right. That's part of their grind. I can get into a place out on the golf course and I can make money. Golf is very good at practicing mindfulness because you can't think about the last shot. You can't think about the next shot. You have to think about
This shot.
And when you are with a business person on the golf course, they too have to be thinking about this shot. So it's easy now for me to eliminate the distractions, right? Tennis, a lot of people play tennis, and then you take somebody out to play tennis. After tennis, a lot of business gets done. Absolutely. And grind, yes. In our history is a negative. You're right. It's ugly. It's dirty. It's hard. It's grinding. It's physical. The grind to me is the everyday process, right? That's what when I say fall in love with the grind. And again, remember, greatness, running in non-stop determination. That's the grind. Everything I do in non-stop determination to get better and better and try to help somebody else get better throughout the day.
In my health journey right now, coming off the bypass, my goal was to get back on my bike. They made me wait 12 weeks after my surgery. So on June 7th, I scheduled a bike ride for some friends to come together and to go for a ride with me. And it rained like cats and dogs that day, if you remember right. We didn't have the ride. Since June 7th, I've logged 684 miles on the bike.
Wow.
And it's the grind. If I want to recover my health, if I want to get back to a level where I am, that's got to be part of my day. It can't be a luxury. It's got to be part of the grind on the health aspect. On the on the work aspect, it's a different grind. I came in this morning to do a few things and come here, and I came into an email from a potential client that was hard, and we had to deal with it, and it got dealt with. And in the middle of dealing with it and moving, I get a text that says, "Hey, where are you?" Well, I'm grinding here. Are you grinding there?
Right.
But the grind it's constant, and there's a couple of grinds going on. We have our, you talk about work-life balance. We have our,
right.
Are we taking care of? Are we grinding on our home life? Are we grinding on our job? I mean, it pays the bills. We have to make sure we're performing the task necessary to accomplish call it success, call it whatever, to bring the money in. And then are we grinding? When we're on the road, I had a guy cut me off in traffic this morning who was clearly distracted by something. Yeah. And I just wonder, sitting here, was he grinding at work when he should have been focused on the moment on driving.
Yeah.
Um,
So I need to learn more about
mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Any book? Yes, here is a great book, and this is one that Phil Jackson recommends to a lot of people too. The great basketball coach, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert Pirsig. It's a cool book. So it's Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. It's really a kind of a walk with a father and a son on a summer motorcycle trip. But it's an easy read. It's a good read, and it'll give you philosophies on how to live today. The craft of motorcycle maintenance leads to an beautiful process of reconciling science, religion, humanism. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool book, and if that helped me a lot. The other is just mindfulness just means living in the moment, living in the right now. And it's a hard thing to do as a parent. It's a hard thing to do. Every day I share something with my kids. Yet today we've got a family text. Today was the song that is Lisa's intro song by Matthew West, Broken, and it's just a cool song. And I share books, I share snippets, I share a lot of motivational sayings with the basketball team, things of that nature. And it's not about success. It's never about success. It's about the grind. It's about loving where you're at in the grind, right? The exciting part of it. You go back to the game of life. You spin the wheel, you move your car, you get little pink or blue pins to put in there. And even though we want to be the millionaire estate, right? And the winner, it's finding what happens along the way, which is fun of the game.
It's the process.
Yeah.
The video you shared with me last night on Kobe Bryant. Kobe was asked a question where it said there's one of two types of people: those who play to win and those who play not to lose. And he had a brilliant answer to it that, similar to what you said a second ago. You paraphrased it, but he basically said, I'm neither. I'm out there learning the game. Every time I take the court, I'm learning something new. I'm learning how to react to a certain situation. I mean, when you look at his last home game of his career, what do you have, like 60 points?
Yeah.
And it's like, you just scored 60 points. Are you sure you're done?
And he was. Yeah. Listen, speaking of videos, I think what we want to do right now is jump into the Believe part and our good friend. So let's throw him up
Hey,
here.
what's going on, folks? This is DeMar K. Ross with the Believe segment of Two Bald Guys and a Microphone. I remember last week when I got the text message from Kent saying, next week, fall in love with the grind. And my response was awesome, love it. Because looking at that phrase, I knew what the spirit of that phrase was. And that was to fall in love with the process, fall in love with the journey, fall in love with the work, or as we teach in Habit Finder Coaching, fall in love with the millimeters. And that is a great way to look at life, because everything is not going to be a home run. Everything is not going to be glamorous. There are parts of all of our journeys that are going to be mundane and going to be not so pleasurable. But where I struggled a little bit in trying to figure out how do I convey this and speak of it in terms of belief and believing in yourself, I had a hard time with the word grind. Again, understanding the spirit of the phrase, but I'm going to replace that word as I speak to you and say, let's think about it in terms of the work, the process, the journey, the millimeters. And the reason I want to remove that word grind is because when you look up the word grind, it says to reduce into small particles or powder, or to rub or cause to rub together gratingly. And I don't know that I can sit and say that I can put a whole lot of belief in the ability to live my life in a constant grind and to fall in love with that concept of grating and rubbing together and rough and friction. We should strive to be able to move and have a flow within our lives. And I know you say, well, there's going to be tough times and we got to be able to push through. Yes, we need grit and we do need to push through some tough times, but to fall in love with the grind, put yourself in a mental state of always having to exceedingly struggle and for life to be extremely rough and rugged. And if we're to fall in love with that, then we'll put an enormous amount of stress on ourselves to be motivated to do that, because I don't know if we can fall in love with grinding, but we can fall in love with work. We can fall in love with a process that is moving us forward. We can fall in love with the journey that we call life. So again, in an attempt to not throw the baby out with the bathwater, I do want to throw the bathwater out, which is the word grind, and say, fall in love with your journey. Fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the little mundane things that we all have to go through and we all have to encounter on our journeys, whether that be in business or in life, relationships, whatever the case may be. Fall in love with that. Fall in love with that process of becoming born. Fall in love with the journey of life and the wonders and the curiosity that comes with that. Fall in love with the millimeters, doing the little things that are going to move us forward in accomplishing our goals. And the more you can do that, the more you will be able to develop this belief in your ability and your belief in the possibility of you accomplishing what it is that you're setting out to do. So hope you can take this message, embrace it, digest it a little bit, and I hope it's not too far off from what those guys were talking about earlier in the show, but understand it's not going against the concept. It's just shifting a word that could play on your subconscious if you think about grinding, if you have to fall in love with grinding for the rest of your life. So fall in love with the process, fall in love with the work, fall in love with the journey, fall in love with the millimeters of this progress that we are all pursuing. This is DeMonte Ross saying, keep striving, stay humble, be bold, and always believe in you. Till next time.
I agree with Jessica there.
So,
Fall in love with the millimeters.
yep. So we'll jump back up here. So Shayna, you and Damon on the same thought pattern. Grind seems pretty harsh. And Coach and I, we don't watch Damon's piece before the show.
No.
He sends it to us maybe a day or the night before. I take it and I upload it into the software. I don't watch it because I want to learn, and I don't want to be able to spoil his stuff. Right. It was the same way with Rancho Ron and East Texas Wisdom. He went. Right. So I like that he actually answered, Shayna, your question as well. So the grind is really working your personal process to forward momentum of goals. Yes, exactly.
Well, words and connotations of words change over time.
Yeah.
And while I, agree and understand the definition that came out of Webster or whatever source he did.
Yeah.
But the grind today, especially in the gymnasium, is the work. I'm dealing with a young man right now who was this past summer he's telling me he was using creatine during his workouts.
Okay.
And I was encouraging him not to. And he was, he's giving me, it's safe. I've read everything. I've said everything. I said, in my experience, there's a lot of muscle injury happens following the use of creatine. I said, just be careful in what you're doing.
Mhm.
Well, over the weekend, he was injured during a soccer game, and it was a muscle injury that shouldn't have happened. And I look back, and from my grind, from my understanding of the grind, is you get in the weight room, you get in the court, you do the work, and you will reap the rewards. But today we're trying to take so many shortcuts where we don't want to do the grind. We want to go from point A to point B without doing the work it takes to get there.
Well, that's somebody who's focused on success. That's somebody who's focused on the fear of failure. They want it quick. I'm having a conversation with a 20-year-old athlete, and she says, "What do you do?" I think I might have shared this on this show or another. And I go, "Listen, here's what I do. I'm a mortgage lender. I work for a bank. I have an internet radio station that I own, operate, and run. And I coach." Now, if you'd have asked me at 18 what my dream was, it wouldn't have been, at 54, I'm going to be working 3 full-time jobs. Right? No, at 54, I'm retired in a mansion someplace with a Maserati and a bunch of toys, right? But the bottom line is that she kind of looked at me and I go, all that energizes me. I move, I grind, I push, I love it. This is what motivates me. Sitting around doing nothing would drive me bonkers. I couldn't do it. Now, I enjoy camping, getting away. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I enjoy that. Absolutely. I couldn't do it on a daily basis, right? If I were to, people are like, "Oh, if I won the lotto, it would absolutely change my life." But I wouldn't stop working. I wouldn't stop grinding, right?
It wouldn't stop coaching.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I would be able to help a lot more people, because you're like, hey, whatever, you're wiping your butt with billions, whatever. But I'd be able to help more people. But the bottom line is I wouldn't stop, people ask about retirement. I've created a life that I don't need to retire from. Right. I can do this. Listen, I'm going to live to be 140. My midlife crisis isn't coming until I'm 70. Guess what? I'll work till I'm 140. I'll grind till I'm 140 because it's greatness running in nonstop determination. Just keep going. Little engine that could grind it all the way up the top of that hill.
I think I can.
Right?
I think I can.
That's what the grind is to me. And you have to fall in love with that grind.
And, if you go with Damon's words a little bit better, the process,
Yep.
the journey, but life, you referenced golf a little bit ago. If I'm lining up to take a golf shot in the tee box and I've got it teed up and I'm looking at that little ball and I'm thinking about, I wonder what the price of mortgage is going to do tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm not hitting that ball.
No.
At the same time, if I'm sitting at the house with my wife and she says, we need to get this done this weekend, and I'm focused on something else and I don't do what she says this weekend, I'm not there in the moment.
That's it. There, Eric Bam says, "Good morning. Happy Friday." Wait, I don't know what day it is. Listen, 2 bald guys, a microphone, always every Wednesday. But look at this guy. This guy grinds all the time, Eric Bam. He's inspiration to me. I went out and I bought a pizza oven, and we started a new tradition of build and bake your own pizza on Labor Day, under the lid out back of the house. And it was awesome. Alice and I tried cauliflower crust for the first time. It was great. And cooking a pizza on those pizza stones, amazing, Eric. One of the best pizza guys I know, Eric Bam, probably wearing bedazzled pants today too, but he didn't bring that up. What you describe is passion disguised as a grind.
Right? Words.
Yeah.
Words. Well, what does the word mean? We talk about this all the time. Words have meaning.
Yep.
And so many times we use words out of context. When the phrase started showing up on the athletic field, my bad, it drove me nuts as a coach.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not my bad. It's just a simple mistake. Work through it. But that was the language of the day,
Yeah.
apologizing for an action. And I went back to my childhood where that didn't work for me. And then one day I said, my bad. And it just kind of came out. Words change, connotations change. Grind did mean to take corn and turn it into flour. But today it's a word used to represent work. You know, that you're not afraid to work. You're not afraid to push. You're not afraid to do the little things, the mundane things. Really, one of the things I said, and Jessica Rose said this, fall in love with the millimeters. I've never heard it said that way, and DeMont has a way of doing that. But those little bitty pieces. When I'm out in the trail, and I've ridden of the 684 miles I've ridden, probably 500 of it has been on the Prairie Trail because I don't like riding with traffic. I'm getting to know every bump, every hole. I know when I shift to the left lane to avoid a bump, and it's the grind that has me there.
Yeah. I can't stand it is what it is. Feels like such a cop out.
Oh, it is what it is. Or get over it. But I can.
Eric would be a good one to tell you. I went with I got the Mr. Pizza Supremo pizza oven. It can double as a grill too, but I use it only as a pizza oven. The only reason I got that one is because someone was gonna just throw it away. I'm like, what's wrong with it? They go, nothing. So I got it, cleaned it, works great. And I'm telling you, I was this is the first time I've ever cooked on a pizza stone. Amazing. The crust, amazing. And you're talking about a guy whose pizza efforts. Uni is his another good one. Uni, it's probably better than one I got, but this is a guy who Breath of Pizza was Pizza Hut from the 80s and or Jack's frozen pizza. So, but making your own, it amazing. It is what it is. But listen, falling in love with the grind, falling in love with the process is meaning that you're trying to improve every day, millimeter by millimeter, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, can you look at yourself in that mirror and ask yourself, did I win the day? Did I improve? Did I move my piece forward on the board? Even if it's a millimeter, did I move? Did I make a difference in somebody else's life? Whose was it? What did I do? Right?
Was it a random act of kindness?
Whether it was or it wasn't. I mean, as a coach, as a person in business, did you share your philosophy? Did you get somebody to think critically? Did you get them to smile? Did you get them to go, I love life? Right? We've had on. I was at Home Depot. I saw Gage, a young man who's brilliant, and he's doing wonderful things, and he's getting so much pushback because he's only 20 in the field that he's really pushing towards. And I, we check out, and I yelled at him, Gage, how's your energy? And he looks up and he smiles. He's like, oh man, it's good to, that's making a difference in somebody else's life, right? That is falling in love with the process. Grind, greatness, running in nonstop determination. Love the process, but understand that you are greatness. Run in nonstop determination. I mean, whatever bump, valley, whatever life throws at you, you're not going to stop. You're going to grind. You're going to keep running, and you know what I'm saying.
Just keep swimming. Just keep
swimming. Right. Eric says, I've been talking to my son about this subject. Life isn't about a touchdown every drive. It's about moving the ball down the field every day. Absolutely. And that, if we put more focus on that, that's how we got to the moon. That's how we get rockets. That's how we get all these great devices. That's how we get solar panels. It's just somebody moving the ball, the idea, one step. And the next thing you know, I mean, the pyramids, research the great pyramids. How did these things get built? One stone at a time, right? That's the process, the grind, greatness, running in nonstop determination. That's all you got to do. Keep pushing. That's
it. all week.
Yep. Listen, we got to bounce. Happy 7-year anniversary. Today is
You're
exactly
right.
7 years. We started 2
Bald guys and a microphone.
and it's blown up to something great. And we've changed it. Our whole goal was to change the world one listener at a time. And hopefully we're doing that. Hopefully we've changed some things. And come back in about 15 minutes. We've got Metaphysical Meanderings with Master Psychic Lana Duncan Hartgraves at 2:00 today. Brand new show with Mark J. Carter, Idea Climbing podcast, how to better yourself, where he's just interviewing great people. 2 p.m. Central. Tune back in, because it's good. It's going to be great.
Awesome. Well, with that said, my name is Tim Stewart. I am Coach Papa, and I do approve this message. God bless. Travel safe. Make this your best day yet. Now get off the bench and get back in the game.